Hey guys, Skis here, back with another ADA video. So this is ADA Bitcoin part 5, where we only follow ADA against Bitcoin. We don't really take a look at ADA against the dollar. We're currently sitting at 561 sats, and I think that there is a chance that we go to the box that we've talked about for a while now. That's between 400 and 500 sats. We're pretty close to it now. But in case you forgot, the reason why we follow ADA against Bitcoin is because nowadays it's just so hard to get to one full Bitcoin. I mean, currently Bitcoin is sitting at 62.8K. And I think that one way to get to a full Bitcoin is to use altcoins such as ADA. And you really have to pay attention on their Bitcoin pair if you're trying to do this, because the US dollar pair, it does work, but I think that if we're trying to make gains on Bitcoin, it just makes more sense to look at it against Bitcoin. And I think ADA has a really good chance to just continue playing out what it's been playing out, which is, it's definitely in this range where we definitely have a clear bottom around 400 sats. We did wick or deviate slightly below it in 2017, and we did go slightly above the high of the range at 6,300 satoshis in the beginning of 2018. But more or less, ADA Bitcoin tends to come to the bottom, go to the top, come back to the bottom, go to the top. So I do think that it's going to come back down to the bottom, and I do think there's a good chance it comes back to the top. And if it's going to do that, this is a really big move from, let's say the midpoint of this box at 450 sats to the midpoint of the top is 1,186%, which is like a 12x, almost a 13x on Bitcoin. And you got to realize that Bitcoin is probably over 100K at this point. So this is a really, really big gain. And it's one way I think that we can get to one Bitcoin if we don't have a full Bitcoin. So I still think there's a good chance that, actually, let's just switch to the daily real quick and just take a look at the recent price action for ADA Bitcoin. You can see that we've kind of just been down here for a while. I mean, we first came to 561 sats a while ago on this wick right here on June 18th. And we've kind of just been range bound more or less between 550 sats and 625 sats, give or take. And I think that one reason to me why Bitcoin, or why ADA against Bitcoin might be heading down towards 400 to 500 sats is because Bitcoin dominance. And every time I talk about Bitcoin dominance, I kind of just say the same thing, because it's just been doing the same thing this whole time for over 2 years, which is just being in an uptrend. It's just going up. And we really started this uptrend September of 2022. So it's been over 2 years, and it's just been in an uptrend. And this doesn't mean that every single altcoin is going to bleed against Bitcoin, because there have been a few that actually haven't, like Solana, but ADA's been especially really weak, and it's been one of the coins that has been bleeding this entire uptrend, and I don't really see any reason why it's gonna not continue to bleed if this uptrend continues. And I think the uptrend is gonna continue, because right now what we're doing, we're kind of just like consolidating, but like at an upward angle, like a slow upward grind. And I think that's going to lead to like a big move up. Even if like we peak, like let's say we get a move up here and this is like the top, and then, we make a big move down. And then, maybe we're like finally on the downward movement. But regardless, I think we're going to keep going up. Maybe it's just like a slow grind continuing until the peak, and then we just reverse. I don't really know how the peak's going to look, but I don't think the peak for Bitcoin dominance is in just yet. And so I'm expecting most altcoins to bleed on Bitcoin, and I think ADA is going to bleed, because that's just what it's been doing this entire time. So that's really why I think it's going to keep going down. I don't really have anything against ADA. It's just that's what it's shown for the past 2.5 years, or like 2 years and like couple months. So I think it is going to make it down to at least 500. I think we're going to go into between 500 and 400. I don't really know if we're going to get all the way down to the bottom of 400, but I think that there is a really good chance that we do come down to, maybe the high 400s. And if that's the case, at that point, I think it would be a really, really good time to convert some Bitcoin into ADA and then just do nothing. So that's really the plan. We're just going to wait for it to come down here. Bitcoin dominance is probably going to come up here at that time. And then we're just going to convert some Bitcoin and don't do anything at all. Like, don't even look at ADA against the US dollar. Just look at ADA Bitcoin, and then whenever ADA Bitcoin is like, close to 5,000 Satoshis, that's when we just convert it back into Bitcoin. Like, that's kind of really the play for me, which is kind of just try to average in between 400, 500. Even if it's at 500, I still think it's good because the plan is to exit at 5,000. I don't even think it's worth waiting for the top here at around 6,200, mainly because ADA has been doing lower highs. So I think there is a chance it's a lower high. We still could just, come into this and come back to it. Like, I think we still can come to the top in this box, but I would still be happy with a 10x on Bitcoin. So that's really the play for me. And when can we expect this, move to finally happen? Well, the move down, like I said, is probably going to happen whenever Bitcoin dominance shoots up, which I think is going to happen relatively soon, just because, I think Bitcoin's going to move up soon, but I think it's going to first move up, and like most altcoins aren't going to be able to keep pace with it. So it'll actually pull ADA Bitcoin down. And then like when we're like starting to get towards the middle of like the real bull, like when alt season's happening and everything, then we're going to go up. So I'm going to pull up Bitcoin's price. So this is Bitcoin's price, and you can see how it acted last time, where you can actually see that initially the move down here to 400 Satoshis, the reason this actually happened was because Bitcoin was going up. And you can see the scale here. Bitcoin was basically going up from 4,000 to 11,000. So it almost 3x'd. Bitcoin almost 3x, but ADA against Bitcoin came all the way down to 400 Satoshis while Bitcoin was going up. And then Bitcoin kind of went sideways, and ADA Bitcoin kind of just bounced around here. And then, Bitcoin started to move up, and ADA Bitcoin got a pretty big move, but then it actually came all the way back down to 500 Satoshis when Bitcoin was like making a massive move. I mean, this was a really, really big move. Like from this week right here, ADA or Bitcoin was at, 34K, around 34K, and ADA Bitcoin was at 500 sats. And that's coming off of 5K. So, you can even just say it started from here at 10K. So Bitcoin, once again, 3x'd, and ADA Bitcoin went down while Bitcoin was going up. So I think there's a good chance that, I personally think Bitcoin's going to go up. I know some people think we're going to break down, but I think regardless of which way we go, ADA Bitcoin's going to break down a little bit. So if we do just start going up, I think that, initially when Bitcoin's like working its way towards like 80, 90K, that's when we can maybe see ADA Bitcoin come down into it. And then once we're like at 90 to 100 plus, then ADA Bitcoin will like shoot back up. So I don't really know, the specific time when that's going to happen, of course, but I kind of think that's how it's going to play out. And I think there is a chance that this is the bottom right here. Like 545, we said it a couple of days ago, 545, basically around here might be the bottom, just because it's kind of doing something similar to last time. Actually, let me pull up Bitcoin again. on this chart where you can kind of see Bitcoin went sideways here, slightly down sideways, and ADA Bitcoin just bounced. Like it kind of did what it's doing now, where like it hit the bottom. It kind of was just like in this range. It kind of moved up once, and then we came back down into it while Bitcoin is just going sideways here, slightly down. So we're kind of doing that right now, right? Like Bitcoin's kind of going slightly down sideways, and we're kind of just bouncing around. And you know, maybe I think there is a case to be made that maybe this is gonna be the bottom, because you know, we already talked about how the peaks were slightly lower, right? Like this peak, and then this peak is lower, but we also have maybe arguably higher lows. We had a low here, and then this low is much higher, and then this low is higher than this low. So I think that this maybe could be the bottom. I don't think it's a terrible time to hedge if you wanted to. I'm personally going to wait it out because I think Bitcoin dominance is going to keep going up. And since ADA's just been so weak against Bitcoin dominance, then if I think Bitcoin dominance is going to go up, then I think ADA Bitcoin's going to go down. So I'm still waiting for us to hit at least 500 Satoshis. But I don't really think it's a bad time to convert some Bitcoin into ADA if you wanted to. And yeah, guys, that's really it. This is just taking so long. I don't really know how much longer it's going to take, but it might take a couple more months. I mean, definitely this move up, like this massive move up that we're waiting for, is probably not going to happen until 2025. Just because, like I said, because Bitcoin is going to already be doing very good before this move happens. Like I think Bitcoin's going to move soon. I think it could start in October. I think it might even, well, I think the election's also going to help it out. So I think it's going to happen this year in 2024, but I don't think ADA Bitcoin's going to get this move, the move that we're really looking for, until 2025, because it has to do it after Bitcoin gets its move. And I think Bitcoin's going to get its move pretty soon. So yeah, guys, that's just an update on ADA Bitcoin. It might be a while till I make another one just because it's just taking so long, but that's really the play. And I think that it's something to really consider just because ADA is it's relatively safe in crypto. Like there's nothing really safe in crypto other than Bitcoin, but ADA's been around for a while and it's done pretty good. I mean, compared to a lot of other coins, you have to like give it to ADA. Like it's done pretty decent. You know, it's on the top 10 anymore, but I think it's still in the top like 15. So yeah, guys, we'll just have to wait and see. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.